Greetings, CBC. Welcome to this week's Sunday warm-up. I got a few things I want to give for us this week. So first off, let me just real quickly go through things that are happening over the coming weeks into the first part of next month. This is Monday that I'm putting this video out, so if you get it today or tomorrow morning, Tuesday we'll be having Tuesday evening 4 to 6 calling hours for Ed, the funeral service for Ed, and the memorial service then at 6 o'clock right after that. So Tuesday evening 4 to 6 calling hours, 6 o'clock service. We'll have a dinner and some refreshments afterwards. You're still welcome to bring things. You can talk to my wife about that. This Saturday, the Youth Chess Club is back on. Meets at my house at 4 o'clock. The last of the Revelation workshops that we've done, the summer Wednesday night workshops, will be next week, August the 16th, from 7 to 9 o'clock. We'll be looking at the 144,000 and the two witnesses. So that'll be the last of those workshops. The next sermon movie night will be a double feature. And because it's a double feature, we're going to bring out the popcorn machine. It'll be two roughly about 45-minute sermons by Vodi Bakum on Sunday evening, September the 3rd. And that'll start at 6 o'clock. Probably go to about 8 o'clock. We are starting a new Wednesday evening book club, and that we're covering, the first book will be Pilgrim's Progress, and that begins on September the 6th, Wednesday evening. There is a sign-up sheet in the foyer, so we know if you need either the book or the workbook. And then lastly, our annual baptism service will be Sunday evening, September the 10th, 6 o'clock. At the Brown's house. So if you are interested in that, there is a sign-up sheet as well for that. And as I've been saying, if you are interested in getting baptized, but that date, that evening does not work for you, please let me know, and would be glad to meet up with you somewhere, get some family, friends, wherever, that we could do the baptism. So. All right, let me. We're adding to this series a little bit. We finished the 7 churches, so let me give you just a little a thought about where we're going. We're going to shift towards. Somewhat towards the end of the book. We're going to use Revelation chapter 19 this week, in particular verses 11 to 16, as kind of a springboard to discuss the things that we've been seeing about Jesus and how Jesus is described in those first 3 chapters. We'll pause that thought, and I'll come back to that at the end to give you details for this Sunday. Then from there, we're going to look at Revelation chapter 18, and we're going to look at some of the themes on how the dark side, if you will, is described, the beast, the dragon, some of the common themes that we saw even within the letters, and certainly that we see throughout the rest of Revelation. What are those common themes in this powerful calling message challenge to the church, the people of God, in Revelation chapter 18, verse 4, to come out of Babylon? So that'll be in 2 Sundays from now. We'll have a pause week there. I'll be off. Matt Molnar will be preaching. And then the first 2 Sundays of September, we will come back to the beginning portion of Revelation, and we're going to look at Revelation chapter 4 on the first week of September, which I think is the 3rd, and then Revelation chapter 5 on the second week, which is September the 10th. So that most likely will finish up our series, but who knows, over the next few weeks we may add to that. All right. Hopefully you followed all that. If not, that's okay. Rewind it, watch it again. For this Sunday, Revelation chapter 19, verses 11 to 21. In particular, we're really focusing in on Revelation 19, verses 11 to 16. What happened a couple of weeks ago, and it was in the second service, so it wasn't on the recording, I'd made a comment that it would be a really interesting study to go back and look at all the things that we have seen in these letters and in chapter 1 of how Jesus himself is described, of how he describes himself, of how John records what he sees there in chapter 1. So we're going to use Revelation 19, again, in particular, verses 11 to 16, as kind of a springboard to get us started. But what will be before us is Revelation 19, 11 to 16, and Revelation chapters 1 to 3. In particular, in 1 to 3, what we're looking for is, and I would encourage you this week to bullet point everything that we see in chapters 1 to 3 of how Jesus is described, of how he's either physically described, of how his titles are described, and bullet point those. And we literally are going to do that on Sunday morning. I've already worked up a bullet point list, tried to put these in some categories. And as I was thinking about myself, especially as the description, I'm thinking, if I'm John and I turn and I see this vision of Christ, what would be the first things that I would notice? What would I see out of what we see described? And so I started just bullet pointing every single thing that is talked about. And we're going to then walk through those together and just spend a week talking about, and the title of the message this week will be The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. So we want to talk about the revelation of Jesus Christ. Who is it that is being revealed to us in this letter? Again, always interesting me how we can get so sidetracked in arguing and debating and fighting and even dividing over various interpretations and end times kinds of discussions, and we miss this powerful, beautiful revelation of who Jesus Christ is, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Remember, we've been called to and challenged weekly over the last 7 weeks for those who have ears to hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches. So we're going to talk about that. And I want to ask us, I'll ask us on this video, I'm going to ask us Sundays. And that's how I'm going to frame it. I'll frame it again Sunday. Seriously, I'm asking, have we stopped and listened? Have we stopped and listened? Who's the authoritative voice in our life? Because when somebody who has a position of authority in our lives, somebody that we would deem to be authoritative, we will stop what we're doing, we'll put it down, we'll put away, we may even put away our cell phones in that moment to listen to this person. So who is that authoritative voice? Along those lines of have we stopped and listened, who's the authoritative voice? Check out Psalm 46 verse 10 and Psalm 20 verse 7. And then as we look at and we bullet point who Christ is, I want to use as a bit of a guide alongside some questions that comes from Psalm 24. And the two questions are this from Psalm 24. Who is this King of glory? And secondly, who shall ascend the hill of the Lord? Who could ascend the hill of the Lord? And so we're going to use those questions to help kind of guide us as we bullet point through the descriptions of Christ in Revelation 1-3 and Revelation chapter 19. The answers are fascinating, they're powerful, and it ought to, if he is not there already, elevate Christ as the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, as the authoritative voice in our lives, in the life of this church. God bless you as you study this week. Let's take this time seriously. Let's dive deeply into the Word of God and really seek to carve out some space this week to listen to the text, to read the text, to take some time and wrestle this out, bullet point these things out, jot these things down. I'm going to give you a note sheet on Sunday, but man, jot it down, everything that you can see before you get there. Be prayerful about our time, and looking forward to it as always. So God bless you this week. Have a wonderful week, and looking forward to being together in worship together on Sunday morning this coming week. God bless you.